The grand chamber of the Galactic Council was filled with light from 1,000 crystal lamps. It was the kind of place designed to impress visitors, with golden arches and floating holograms showing the stars of every known system. Delegates from dozens of species sat in their seats, their voices overlapping in a rising storm of arguments. At the center of the chamber, the Chancellor of the Council banged a staff against the floor. "Order, order must be kept," the sound echoed, and slowly the arguments calmed. Eyes, tentacles, and other alien features turned toward the main podium. It was time to discuss the matter that had been avoided for too long: Earth. For years, humans had been both a puzzle and a problem. They had entered the galactic stage late compared to most civilizations, yet they had advanced at a speed no one had predicted. They built colonies, ships, and trade routes in only a few generations. They sent explorers to the farthest edges of space. And worst of all, they refused to be controlled. Ambassador Velran of the Talor Dominion raised his voice. His people were tall, with blue-scaled skin and eyes that glowed faintly in the dark. He spoke with a sharp, cutting tone. "We cannot continue to allow the humans this freedom. They are spreading too quickly. Their colonies grow faster than ours. Their technology improves in ways even we cannot explain. If we do not stop them now, they will dominate the Council within a century." A murmur spread through the chamber. Some nodded in agreement. Others looked uncertain. From the opposite side, Ambassador Chikora of the Velan Hive spoke. Her voice carried the soft clicking of her insectoid mandibles. "Humans are reckless. They are emotional. They speak of peace, but they prepare for conflict. They smile, but behind the smile is a hidden blade. Already their fleets patrol beyond their borders. Already their merchants undercut our trade. If we do not act, we will regret it." The Chancellor raised his brow ridges. "What action do you propose?" Velran's lips curled. "We weaken them, quietly. We begin with raids on their outer colonies. We make the humans believe they are not safe unless they listen to us. Over time they will bend. That is the only way to tame them." The room buzzed again. Some delegates whispered that such a plan was dangerous. Others said it was wise. Ambassador Salora of the Inari Republic, a tall being of crystal and light, stood slowly. Her voice was calm but strong. "I must remind the Council that humans have been loyal allies in many conflicts. They fought beside us against the pirate fleets of the Orvan. They shared medicines and technologies that have saved lives across the galaxy. To turn against them now is not only dishonorable, it is foolish. Do you not see how dangerous it is to provoke a species that thrives in danger?" Velran waved his hand dismissively. "They are only strong because we have allowed them to be strong. Without our Council's networks, without our trade, without our protection, they would collapse. Do not let the humans' reputation frighten you. They are still young, still undisciplined. They can be guided or forced into obedience." A ripple of uneasy laughter spread among Velran's allies. Salora's light dimmed in sorrow. She looked around the chamber and saw too many nodding in agreement with Velran. Too many afraid of Earth's growing influence. Too many willing to forget humanity's loyalty. The Chancellor leaned back in his high seat. His voice was slow, thoughtful, and heavy. "It seems the matter must go to vote. But before we proceed, are there any other voices who wish to speak for humanity?" For a moment, silence filled the chamber. Then the human ambassador, Daniel Hale, rose from his seat. He was not tall compared to most aliens. His features seemed simple in this chamber of exotic beings. 2 eyes, short dark hair, plain suit. But there was something in his expression that caught the attention of everyone. Calm, steady, watching. When he spoke, his voice was even. "The Council debates as if humanity is not here to listen. I hear fear in your words. Fear of what we might become. Fear of how fast we grow. But I remind you, fear is not truth. We have not attacked your colonies. We have not sabotaged your fleets. We have done nothing but build, trade, and explore. We have defended the weak and stood by our allies. Is this what frightens you?" Velran sneered. "It is your nature that frightens us, human. You pretend to be courteous. You speak of peace while preparing for war. It is your smile we do not trust." Daniel did not flinch. He looked at Velran, then at the Chancellor, then at all the gathered delegates. His words were calm, but there was an edge in them. "Courtesy is not weakness. Peace is not surrender. Do not mistake our patience for fear." A chill seemed to pass through the chamber. Even those who disliked humans shifted uncomfortably. The Chancellor frowned. "Ambassador Hale, the Council appreciates your words. But this matter is greater than speeches. We must act for the balance of the galaxy. Daniel bowed his head slightly, then returned to his seat. His face gave away nothing. The vote began. One by one, the delegates raised their symbols of agreement or disagreement. Light after light appeared in favor of Velrun's plan. By the end, the result was clear. The Council would begin covert operations to weaken humanity. The Chancellor spoke with finality. The decision is made. Raids will begin on human colonies. This matter is closed. For a long moment, Daniel sat in silence. His hands were folded on the table. His eyes were unreadable. Finally, he rose and walked calmly out of the chamber. Selora watched him go. A shadow of dread moved through her crystal form. She knew something the others had forgotten. She had seen humans in battle. She had seen the look in their eyes when survival was at stake. She leaned close to the Chancellor and whispered, "You have made a mistake. They will not bow. They will not break. And if you push them too far, they will not forgive." But her warning was ignored. Outside the council chambers, Ambassador Hale walked alone through the shining corridors of the capital station. His communicator buzzed with a message from Earth's leadership. He opened it, scanned the words, and his lips pressed into a thin line. The message was simple. They chose conflict. Then we will remind them what we are. Hale looked out the vast windows at the stars beyond. His voice was quiet, almost to himself. We tried to be courteous. We tried to be patient. But they will learn that humanity's patience is not endless. The stars shone back at him, silent witnesses to the storm that was about to begin. The first raid came quietly, almost without warning. On the edge of human space, there was a small mining world called Vespera 4. It was not famous or important. Only a few thousand colonists lived there, working hard to pull rare metals from the rocky surface. The colony had no real defense, only a few old orbital cannons left from earlier wars. One night, as the red sun dipped below the jagged horizon, shadows appeared in orbit. Ships belonging to the Talor Dominion uncloaked and descended like predators on their prey. The colonists panicked. Sirens blared through the settlements. Families rushed to shelters. Old communication relays tried to send a distress signal toward Earth, but jamming fields blocked every transmission. The alien commander, Captain Relk, watched from the bridge of his warship. His reptilian eyes narrowed as he gave his orders. Strike fast. Damage their systems. Destroy their will to resist. Leave survivors, but leave them broken. His fleet of 6 ships began their attack. Explosions lit up the night sky as energy beams slammed into orbital stations. The cannons tried to fire back, but they were quickly silenced. Factories burst into flame. The colony shook under the bombardment. The colonists screamed and prayed. But to the surprise of the attackers, resistance came, not from advanced fleets, not from powerful war machines, but from the humans themselves. In one corner of the settlement, a group of miners armed themselves with old rifles and heavy drilling tools. They did not wait for orders. They defended their homes. When alien troops landed on the surface, expecting an easy victory, they found streets filled with smoke and humans fighting fiercely, refusing to surrender. Captain Relk frowned as reports came in. "These are miners, not soldiers. Why are they resisting so strongly?" His second-in-command hissed nervously. "Sir, humans do not fear battle. Even when they cannot win, they fight. They fight as if they enjoy it." Relk dismissed the thought. They will break soon enough. But the fighting dragged on for hours. Though outnumbered and outgunned, the humans refused to fall. Families defended their homes with nothing but courage. The aliens finally destroyed most defenses, but they could not erase the image. Humans fighting until their last breath, with fire in their eyes. When the raid was finally over, Vespera 4 lay in ruins. The aliens left behind shattered factories, burning homes, and frightened survivors. They believed their message was clear. Humanity was weak. Humanity could be broken. But they were wrong. 2 weeks later, Captain Relk's fleet was on patrol near an asteroid belt. His ships moved smoothly through the void, confident after their victory. Then it happened. Without warning, strange signals filled their sensors. Blurs of light moved in the darkness. At first, Relk thought it was debris, but then the blurs changed direction. Ships. Human ships. But these were not the standard patrol craft or traders the Council had recorded. These ships were silent, their hulls painted black, moving like shadows. They did not send signals. They did not broadcast warnings. They attacked without hesitation. The first alien cruiser exploded before it even knew it was under fire. Precision shots tore through its engines. The second ship tried to raise shields, but somehow the humans fired directly through weak points, as if they had studied every detail of the enemy design. Panic spread through Relk's crew. "Who are they? Where did they come from?" Relk shouted orders.
"Return fire. Form a line."
But it was useless. The human ships darted in and out, vanishing into the asteroid shadows, striking from impossible angles. Each time they appeared, another alien vessel died. Within minutes, 4 of Relk's 6 ships were gone. His voice shook as he gave the order to retreat. But before he could flee, his ship was disabled. Lights flickered. Systems failed. His crew screamed in confusion. Then, through the static of the comms, a voice came. "Calm, cold, human. You were warned. Do not mistake courtesy for weakness." The voice vanished. Moments later, the human ships disappeared as suddenly as they had arrived, leaving only wreckage behind. Relk sat frozen in his command chair, realizing what had happened. Humanity had not been silent. Humanity had been waiting, watching, striking back in ways no one expected. Back on Earth, deep inside the secure chambers of the United Human Directorate, leaders reviewed the reports. Admiral Reiko Tanaka, head of the Hidden Fleet, stood before the Council of Earth's governments. She was a calm woman with steel in her eyes. "The aliens thought our colonies were defenseless," she said. "They were not wrong. But what they did not know is that for decades Earth has been preparing. We knew this day would come. We built the Black Fleets in secret. They are invisible to scanners. They are designed to appear only when needed, and now they have made their first move." The leaders nodded grimly. President Marcus Hale leaned forward. "The Council believes they can intimidate us. They think humans are still the newcomers, the children of the galaxy. They do not realize we learned from history. Every war taught us one lesson: survive first, strike later. We will not strike openly yet, but we will bleed them in the shadows until they understand." He looked around the room. "And when the time comes, they will face a choice: stop attacking us, or face the full truth of what humanity can do." Meanwhile, rumors began to spread through the galaxy. Survivors from Relk's fleet whispered about ghost ships that came from nowhere and vanished into the dark. Traders passing near human space claimed to see flashes of battle in distant stars. Whole patrols of alien ships disappeared without explanation. The Council tried to dismiss the stories. They called them exaggerations, accidents, lies spread by frightened soldiers. But fear is not easily silenced. The stories grew, and slowly in every corner of the galaxy, the same phrase began to circulate: "The humans are not what they seem." In the capital of the Inari Republic, Ambassador Salora met privately with her advisors. Her crystal body glowed with unease. "They have done exactly what I feared," she said. "The Council's raids have not broken them. They have awakened them. We are seeing only shadows of their strength. If this continues, the galaxy will face something it cannot control." One of her aides asked, "Should we warn the Chancellor again?" Salora shook her head. "He will not listen. He believes humanity can be contained. But I have seen the truth in their eyes. Humans do not bow. They endure, and when pushed too far, they transform into something unstoppable." On the mining world of Vespera 4, the surviving colonists rebuilt their homes. They buried their dead and repaired their machines. And though they grieved, they did not despair. For one night, as the fires still burned, the sky above them filled with light. A formation of sleek black ships passed silently over the colony, their hulls gleaming in the starlight. They did not land. They did not speak. But every colonist who saw them knew the meaning. Humanity had not abandoned them. Humanity was watching. Humanity would strike back. And in that moment, the colonists' fear turned into something else: hope. By the end of that year, 4 more alien raids had ended the same way. Colonies were attacked, sometimes damaged, but every fleet that struck humans paid the price. Sometimes a ship vanished, sometimes entire armadas were destroyed. No one could prove how. No one could track the ghost fleets. But one fact became clear. The humans were no longer pretending to be helpless. They were sending a message, and the galaxy was beginning to listen. The Galactic Council chamber was restless. Delegates shifted in their seats, voices buzzing in uneasy tones. For months, rumors had haunted every corridor of the galaxy. Entire fleets missing. Colonies burned but attackers destroyed in return. Strange ghost ships seen flickering through the void. At first, the Council had dismissed these whispers as fear and exaggeration. But now, evidence could no longer be ignored. Admiral Kor of the Talor Dominion stood at the center of the chamber, his scales shining under the bright lights. He looked shaken, something unusual for his proud species. "Our fleet of 30 warships," he said slowly, his deep voice carrying through the silence, "was sent to secure the human mining world at Proxima Centauri. Contact was lost 3 days ago. Yesterday, fragments of their ships were found drifting near the Centauri belt. Not one vessel survived. A hush fell over the chamber. 30 ships, a fleet that should have been invincible, gone without explanation." Ambassador Chikora of the Valon Hive leaned forward, her insectoid eyes glittering. "What destroyed them?" Kor's jaw tightened. "We do not know. No distress signals were sent. No records remain. Our analysts believe they were attacked by an unknown force." From the far side, Ambassador Salora's crystal body pulsed with light. "Unknown?" she repeated softly, or unwilling to admit. Kor turned toward her with anger in his eyes. "Are you suggesting the humans—" "I am not suggesting," Salora interrupted. Her voice rang like glass striking stone. "I am telling you. The humans destroyed your fleet. Who else could it be?" A wave of disbelief rolled through the chamber. The Chancellor frowned. "Ambassador Salora, those are serious words. Humanity does not possess the technology to erase 30 ships without a trace." Salora's light dimmed, her tone sharp. "And yet it has happened. How many times must we see the same pattern before you accept the truth? First Relk's fleet vanishes, then patrols disappear near their borders. Now an entire armada is destroyed. The humans are not weak. They are not naive. They have been hiding their strength, and you have forced them to show it." Murmurs rose again. Some delegates shook their heads in denial. Others looked uneasy, remembering all the quiet warnings they had ignored. Ambassador Velrun of the Talor Dominion stood, his scales dark with anger. "Impossible. If humans had such power, they would have revealed it long ago. They are nothing without us. They cannot match our fleets." Salora turned to face him. "Velrun, you saw the vote. You demanded raids to weaken them. Now tell me, are they weaker, or are they showing us exactly what they are capable of?" Velran's lips pressed into a thin line, but he said nothing. In the shadows of the chamber, the human ambassador Daniel Hale sat silently. His face was calm, his hands folded neatly. He had not spoken since the meeting began. But his silence spoke louder than words. Finally, the Chancellor turned toward him. "Ambassador Hale, humanity stands accused of destroying fleets of the Council. Do you deny it?" Daniel rose slowly. His eyes swept across the room, calm and unblinking. "You sent fleets into our territory. You attacked our colonies. You killed our people. And now you ask me to deny what happened?" Velran slammed his hand against the table. "Answer the question, human." Daniel's voice did not rise. It remained steady, cold as ice. "You wanted humanity to fear you. Instead, you discovered what we are. If you believe your fleets were destroyed by chance, then keep believing it. If you believe it was us, then you already know the truth. Either way, I have nothing to deny." The chamber erupted into chaos. Delegates shouted, some demanding war, others calling for retreat. The Chancellor struck the floor with his staff until silence returned. Daniel remained standing. His gaze swept the room again. "We tried to be courteous. We tried to live in peace, but you mistook patience for weakness. If you continue down this path, then the mask will slip completely. And when that happens, there will be no council strong enough to stop what comes next." He sat down again, calm and unmoved. The silence that followed was heavier than any argument. Far from the council, on Earth itself, preparations were underway. Deep beneath the oceans, in vast hidden docks, the black fleets were being readied. Rows of ships rested in silence, their black hulls absorbing all light. They were larger than any vessels the Council believed humanity possessed. Each one bristled with weapons invisible to normal scanners. Admiral Reiko Tanaka walked the length of the command deck, her hands clasped behind her back. Engineers and officers worked in silence around her, their faces set with grim determination. "How long before we are ready?" she asked. 2 weeks, replied her second-in-command. "The ghost fleets can deploy anywhere within human space. If the Council escalates, we can strike deep into their systems." Tanaka nodded. "Good, but remember, Our goal is not conquest. Not yet. The Council must be forced to stop. Nothing more. They need to learn restraint before it is too late. Her officer hesitated. And if they do not stop? Tanaka's eyes were cold as steel. Then we stop pretending, and they will regret everything. In the colonies, whispers spread faster than trade ships. Farmers, miners, traders all spoke of the same thing. Humanity had struck back. At first, people were afraid. Stories of alien fleets raiding human worlds had left scars. But as more and more fleets disappeared, fear began to turn into pride. On Mars, in the great domed city of Olympus, a crowd gathered in the central square. They carried banners with Earth's flag and cheered as a recording of Ambassador Hale's words was played. Do not mistake patience for weakness. Children repeated the phrase in schools. Workers painted it on their ships. Soldiers whispered it before battle drills. The words became a promise, a vow. Humanity would no longer bow to the galaxy's intimidation. Back in the council chamber, panic grew. Reports continued to arrive. Another Vaylon fleet had gone missing. A supply convoy had vanished near human borders. Traders whispered of human ships that seemed to appear out of nowhere, striking with surgical precision before vanishing back into the dark. The council's military advisors urged caution, but others demanded a full-scale war. Ambassador Chikora clicked her mandibles nervously. We must stop provoking them. If we continue, we risk a war we cannot win. Velrun slammed his hand on the table again. Coward, we are the council. No human can stand against us if we unite. They use tricks and shadows, nothing more. Salora's crystal body pulsed with anger. You are blind, Velrun. Each time you say they are weak, they prove you wrong. Each time you say they are cowards, they fight harder. How many fleets must vanish before you see the truth? The Chancellor rubbed his brow, weary. Enough. We will investigate further before any decision is made. But even as he spoke, a messenger rushed into the chamber. His face was pale. News from the Outer Rim, the messenger said. The moon of DEATHWORLD. Destroyed, gasps filled the chamber. Destroyed? The Chancellor repeated. How? The messenger swallowed hard. One human ship. They shattered the moon's core. It was a demonstration. The chamber erupted in chaos again. Shouts, fear, disbelief. But through it all, Ambassador Hale remained silent, watching with the faintest trace of a smile. The mask had slipped. On Earth, President Marcus Hale addressed humanity. His speech was broadcast across every colony, every station, every ship. My people, he said, standing tall before the cameras, the galaxy believed we were weak. They thought courtesy was surrender. They thought patience was fear. They were wrong. We will not be victims. We will not kneel. We will endure. We will resist, and we will show them the truth. Humanity stands together. Cheers erupted across human space. For the first time in centuries, every colony, every city, every fleet felt united, not as separate worlds, but as one species. And in the hearts of every human, a silent thought burned like fire. If the Council wanted war, humanity was ready. The Galactic Council chamber was silent. The announcement of DEATHWORLD's destruction still echoed in every delegate's mind. The idea that a single human ship had shattered a moon was almost beyond belief. For days, panic rippled across the galaxy. News broadcasts replayed images of the ruined moon, broken into fragments glowing with molten light as its pieces drifted apart. The message was clear. Humanity was no longer hiding. Ambassador Daniel Hale had said nothing more after that revelation. He sat quietly in the chamber, as though waiting for the Council to realize the truth on its own. But silence often speaks louder than words, and the silence of the humans weighed heavily on every delegate. The fear in the capital. On the Council's capital world of Erythra, fear spread through the streets. Citizens from dozens of species looked nervously at the sky. If humans could destroy a moon so easily, what else could they do? Could they destroy entire planets? Could they shatter the capital itself? Merchants whispered in marketplaces. Soldiers tightened patrols around the city domes. Even the proudest species of the galaxy began to wonder whether they had gone too far. Salora of the Inari Republic felt that fear most of all. Her crystalline body pulsed faintly as she walked through the chambers of her embassy. She looked up at the stars, her voice soft but heavy. I warned them, she said to her aide. I warned them not to provoke the humans. Now the Council sees the truth, but it may already be too late. Her aide, a younger Inari diplomat, asked carefully, Do you think humanity means to destroy us? Silora's light dimmed in thought. No, if they wanted destruction, they would have already done it. This was not conquest. This was a warning. A warning written in fire across the sky. The council in denial. Inside the Grand Chamber, however, denial still ruled. Ambassador Velran of the Tilor Dominion stood tall, his blue-scaled skin glistening. This is a trick, he declared. The humans do not have such power. They must have found a weakness in Drathis Prime. Perhaps the moon was unstable. Perhaps this was an illusion designed to frighten us. But his words carried no strength. Too many delegates had seen the evidence. Too many felt the fear. Chikora of the Valon Hive clicked her mandibles uneasily. Velran, you fool yourself. The humans warned us many times. Now they have shown us what they can do. If we continue to strike them, we risk destruction beyond imagination. The Chancellor raised his staff. His face was grim, tired, and pale. Enough. The time has come to face reality. Humanity has shown restraint until now, but we do not know the limits of their strength. We must decide, do we continue to provoke them or do we find peace? The chamber buzzed with whispers. Some still wanted to fight, clinging to pride. Others urged retreat. But before any vote could begin, the chamber shook. Alarms blared. Holographic screens lit up with red warnings. A fleet had entered the system. Humanity arrives. On the edges of Erythra's system, human ships appeared. They did not arrive through traditional hyperspace gates. They simply emerged, silent and sudden like shadows slipping into the light. Their black hulls reflected nothing, their shapes smooth and menacing. The fleet did not move toward the planet. Instead, it gathered near a barren moon orbiting far from the capital. From the council chamber, delegates watched in shock as live feeds displayed the fleet. The humans had come directly to the heart of galactic power. Not as invaders, but as demonstrators. Ambassador Hale finally rose from his seat. His expression was calm, his voice steady. You wanted proof, he said. You will have it. Watch carefully. The demonstration on the barren moon of Erythra's outer orbit, human engineers had already prepared. One of the largest human vessels, a sleek, black warship named Resolute, moved into position. Its hull unfolded like a flower, revealing strange machinery that no alien sensors could understand. For a moment, nothing happened. Then beams of invisible energy lanced into the moon's surface. There was no dramatic explosion at first, only silence. Minutes passed. Then the ground of the moon began to shake. Cracks spread across its surface like glowing rivers. Light burst from its core, and then with a soundless roar that could be felt even across the void, the moon split apart. Two massive halves drifted slowly away from each other, glowing with heat from within. The break was precise, controlled, surgical. Not a chaotic blast, but a deliberate cut, as if the moon were no more than clay in human hands. Gasps filled the council chamber. Some delegates fell silent in shock. Others cried out in fear. Even Velran, who had mocked humanity before, stared wide-eyed, his scales pale with disbelief. Silora whispered softly, her crystalline form glowing faintly. This is no accident. This is restraint. On the screens, the human fleet withdrew calmly. They did not threaten the planet. They did not fire on the council. They only left the broken moon behind, a silent reminder of what could be done. The message back in the chamber, Ambassador Hale faced the council. His eyes were cold, his words sharper than steel. This is not war, he said. This is not conquest. This is a warning. We could have shattered your world. We did not. We could have destroyed your fleets in your own space. We did not. We chose restraint because we believed there was still a chance for peace. He paused, letting his words sink into the silence. Do not mistake this for weakness. Courtesy has its limits. You attacked our colonies. You killed our people, and still we restrained ourselves. But if you push us further, if you continue this path, then the mask comes off. And when that happens, no power in this galaxy will protect you. His voice grew even colder. Stop attacking us. Stop testing us. Or we will stop pretending to be courteous. He sat down, and in the silence that followed, not one delegate dared to argue. The aftermath outside the chamber, panic and awe spread across Erythra. Citizens crowded the streets, staring at the broken moon glowing in their sky. Children pointed in wonder. Adults whispered in fear. Soldiers who once laughed at the idea of human strength now felt dread in their bones. Across the galaxy, the message spread like wildfire. News networks replayed the footage of the moon's destruction. Every colony, every station, every world now understood the truth. Humanity had been holding back. Some species panicked, calling for immediate surrender to Earth. Others argued that humans must be negotiated with, not fought. But all agreed on one thing. No one could ever again dismiss humanity as weak. Humanity's choice back on Earth. President Marcus Hale stood before the leaders of the Directorate. The chamber was filled with silence as he looked at the reports. "We have shown them what we can do," he said. "Now they must decide. Will they choose peace or will they push us further?" Admiral Tanaka spoke firmly. "The fleets are ready for either outcome. If they seek war, we will not hold back again." The president nodded. His eyes were hard, but his voice carried sadness. "We never wanted this. We never wanted to frighten them. But they forced our hand. Now the galaxy knows what we are capable of, and we cannot hide again." He looked out the window, where Earth's oceans shimmered under the sunlight. His final words were quiet, almost to himself. They wanted to see the mask slip. Now they will learn what lies beneath it. In the council's halls that night, the council chamber remained heavy with silence. No vote was taken. No decision made. Delegates sat in fear, knowing the choice before them was simple: stop attacking Earth, or face consequences too terrible to imagine. Silora walked alone through the corridors, her crystalline form glowing faintly in the darkness. She whispered words only she could hear. "We thought they were newcomers. We thought they were fragile. But we were wrong. The humans do not bow. The humans endure. And when provoked, the humans remind the galaxy why they must never be underestimated." The broken moon hung in the night sky above Erythra, silent and glowing, a reminder to every being who looked upon it. Courtesy has limits, and humanity had just drawn the line. The Galactic Council chamber was unlike any other place in the galaxy. Its high ceilings reflected light in impossible patterns, and the floating stars of the galaxy danced above the delegates' heads. But tonight all that grandeur felt empty. Fear had replaced pride, and whispers of dread ran through every corner of the room. The destruction of the outer moon by the humans had changed everything. Every fleet that had dared to raid human space had been destroyed. Every colony attacked had survived. And now the galaxy had witnessed humans demonstrating controlled power on a massive scale. The delegates sat in silence, trying to measure their next words, their next actions. Every report from the edges of human space told the same story. Humanity had been holding back, waiting, observing, and now the mask had slipped. Ambassador Daniel Hale remained seated in his chair, calm as ever. His presence alone commanded the attention of every delegate. The humans were no longer voiceless observers in the galactic stage. They were a force to be reckoned with. The council debates Chancellor Verax banged his staff on the floor. Order must be kept. We cannot allow fear to rule our decisions. Humanity has shown us strength, yes, but they have not declared war. We must act wisely. Ambassador Velran of the Talor Dominion stood, his blue scales glowing faintly under the chamber lights. Act wisely? Chancellor, they have destroyed moons. Entire fleets have vanished. If this is wise, then I no longer understand what wisdom is. Chakora of the Valen Hive clicked her mandibles nervously. Do you not see the danger? They are not angry, not yet. They are demonstrating restraint. But every time we attack or provoke them, we force them closer to fury. If we continue, we will face a species that can destroy entire systems without hesitation. Silora of the Anari Republic spoke next, her crystal form pulsing softly. I warned you. Every time the Council ignored my words, humanity's patience was tested. And every time they waited. They waited longer than we could imagine. But now even patience has a limit. The chamber was filled with tension. Even the proudest delegates could not hide the truth. Humanity was not weak. Humanity was not naive. Humanity was deadly, and they were deliberate. The final warning. Daniel Hale finally rose, his eyes scanning the room. He did not shout. He did not gesture wildly. He spoke calmly, with a voice that carried authority without threat. Council delegates, he said, you have attacked our colonies. You have destroyed our fleets. You have tested our patience and underestimated our resolve. We responded in ways you could not have predicted. And yet, we have not escalated further. We have restrained ourselves because we believed in peace. Because we believed the galaxy could still act with wisdom and reason. He paused, letting the words sink into every mind present. Every species felt a chill as they considered his statement. But make no mistake, he continued. This restraint is not weakness. This patience is not ignorance. Humanity's courtesy has limits. We extended it because we wanted peace. We extended it because we believed you were capable of learning from your mistakes. But if you continue to attack us, if you continue to provoke us, then you will learn that humanity's courtesy is the only thing keeping your worlds intact. Murmurs ran through the chamber. Some delegates turned pale. Others shifted uncomfortably in their seats. Daniel Hale leaned forward slightly. This is your final warning. Stop attacking our people. Stop testing us, or we will stop pretending to be courteous. And when that happens, the galaxy will see what humanity is truly capable of. We do not seek conquest. We do not seek war. We seek only the right to exist without fear. But we will fight if forced to do so, and we will win. The council realized as the chamber fell silent. Not one delegate spoke for long moments. The weight of what had been said pressed on every being present. Chancellor Verax finally spoke, his voice quieter than usual. Perhaps we have misjudged them. Perhaps we have forgotten that patience does not mean weakness. Perhaps we have allowed fear and pride to cloud our judgment. Silora nodded. It is more than misjudgment. It is arrogance. We believed humanity would bow, that they would accept limitations we set for them. But we were wrong. They will not bow. They will not kneel. And if we continue to push them, the consequences will be catastrophic. Velrun looked around, struggling to maintain his composure. If we retreat, will they leave us in peace? Daniel Hale's expression did not change. That choice is yours. The humans have shown what we can do. But we do not wish to destroy the galaxy. That is not our goal. Our goal is survival. Our goal is freedom. Choose wisely. The chamber was heavy with thought. For the first time in history, the council debated not how to control humanity, but how to avoid provoking it. Humanity's strength outside the chamber. In orbit around the capital, the human fleet remained on silent patrol. Their black hulls reflected no light. Their engines made no sound. Ships that the council had believed did not exist hovered invisibly near the moon that had been split. A constant reminder of what humans could do. Admiral Reiko Tanaka oversaw the operation from the command ship Resolute. Her face was calm, but her eyes were sharp. Keep the fleet in position, she ordered. They need to see we are ready. We will not strike unless provoked, but we will remain a shadow over their capital until the council understands the meaning of our warning. Her officers nodded, the tension in the room tight, but controlled. Every ship, every soldier, every human pilot knew their role. Humanity did not need to conquer. Humanity only needed to be understood. Across the galaxy, reports of the demonstration reached every corner of human space. Colonies cheered. Traders and explorers sent messages of pride and hope. Even civilians who had lived under fear of alien raids felt a new sense of unity. This is the humans, one commentator said on a popular network. They are deliberate. They are patient. And they are powerful beyond imagination. But they are not cruel. That is what makes them dangerous. They do not attack without reason. But if provoked, nothing can stop them. In the council systems, fear had replaced pride. Generals and admirals debated what had been seen, realizing that no fleet, no weapon, and no strategy could match humanity's resolve and preparation. Even Velrun, stubborn and proud, began to whisper to his aides, "Perhaps we were wrong. Perhaps we have underestimated them." The decision, the chancellor finally called for a vote. Every delegate knew what the right choice was. Humanity had spoken. The evidence was clear. The vote passed almost unanimously. All raids would stop. All restrictions against humanity would be lifted. Humanity's colonies would be respected. Daniel Hale stood silently as the vote concluded. He did not smile. He did not celebrate. His eyes remained calm, watching every reaction in the chamber. When the chancellor spoke, it was almost with relief. The council recognizes the sovereignty of humanity. All attacks must cease. All provocations must end. The humans have been heard. Hale nodded once. We thank the council for making the right choice. Let this be the end of unnecessary conflict. Let this be the beginning of mutual understanding and respect. Humanity's last words. Before leaving the chamber, Daniel Hale addressed the delegates one final time. His voice was steady, carrying through the quiet. "Remember this moment," he said. "We have shown patience. We have shown courtesy. But we are not weak. We will endure, we will survive, and we will protect our people. Do not mistake our kindness for weakness. Do not mistake our courtesy for surrender. The humans are here to stay, and if you respect that, peace is possible. If you do not, you will learn the consequences the hard way." With that, the human delegation left the chamber. The delegates were left in stunned silence. Salora walked to the windows, looking at the stars beyond. "They were never what we thought," she whispered. "They were stronger, smarter, and far more patient than we ever imagined. We have been given a warning, and it is final. The galaxy learns for the first time. The galaxy understood that humans were a species not to be underestimated. They were not just survivors. They were deliberate, intelligent, patient, and deadly if provoked. Humanity had offered the Council one final chance, one final courtesy. They had shown restraint, they had demonstrated power, and they had spoken clearly. The message was simple. Stop attacking, or we stop pretending to be courteous. And every being who looked at the broken moon, the silent fleets and the calm human ambassadors understood. This was not a threat in anger. It was a promise. Humanity had drawn the line, and the galaxy would never forget it.